You ever been driving your vehicle down the road when suddenly the windshield was obscured? Maybe it was like too much sunlight coming through right in your eyeballs, or maybe it was suddenly fogged up, or an immediate rainstorm that came through and you couldn't see the road ahead. Well, that's a challenging situation when you're driving an automobile. You can't see the dangers, the potholes, you can't see the cars in front of you. You can't even see the highlights. Hey kids, look, it's the world's largest ball of twine. You also can't see the necessary turns that keep you on the right path. Well, your funnel is your sales windshield. It allows you to see what's in the road ahead, whether they're dangers or whether they're highlights. It also allows you to see all the turns that you need to make to keep your sales team on the road to success. One of the main roles of a sales manager is to see the truth for what it is, not better and not worse. Your job is also to imagine a better state and then to take massive action to make that new state a reality. All of this starts with an accurate, reliable, and real view of the overall condition of the sales funnel. That's the goal of the Sales Funnel Update meeting. Funnel sufficiency is a future-looking metric that helps the team identify potential gaps, and it acts like an early warning system, beep, 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 for your business performance. It helps you identify required activity to continuously improve. Remember our common language from the foundation video? Our funnel is the complete list of all the opportunities that you have to pursue. So as you review your team's funnel, you may realize that there are hundreds or even thousands of opportunities that have not had activity in months, or maybe even years. So in this meeting, we're going to focus on creating a sales funnel that reflects true reality, as well as the opportunities that you have in flight. That means we're going to clean out the pipeline. Think of it like a spring cleaning. One of our jobs as sales managers is to help our teams get to real opportunities which represent real numbers. Once we're dealing with the true funnel information, then we can coach to that, and our sales team can work from that clean data. Which would you rather coach to? A sales maker whose CRM data is really high and at the required quota, or one that is maybe a little lower than quota, but you know there's no fluff in there? It's real data. Yeah, me too. I would much prefer to start with the reality and work our way up from there. This meeting will ensure that every time that you and your sales makers look at the funnel data, it's accurate, it's reliable, and it's real data. Now, while the discipline is relatively short and simple, maintaining its regular cadence is critically important. In our Sales Funnel Update meeting, we have three main areas of focus. First, we have the opportunity to ensure that close dates and values and stages and next steps, they're all accurately reflected for the opportunities that are both inside and outside of the reporting period. Secondly, we want to create a sense of team social accountability. This ensures accuracy for everybody on the team. And then thirdly, we want to develop critical thinking processes across the entire team of sales makers as they truly assess the status of their individual funnels. By focusing on these three critical areas, we create an environment where sales makers publicly share their pipeline numbers in a team setting. They adjust the conditions of the opportunities so that they really do reflect reality, and they're held accountable by the team for their performance and for their accuracy. There are several key areas of the why that drive the motivation for our team for this meeting. First of all, it gives them the opportunity to trust the data. It gives us and them better visibility into the opportunities. Secondly, it allows the opportunities outside of the reporting period to be in focus. It also allows us to ensure that the pipeline volume and velocity reflects real-time status. And then finally, it's back to social accountability. When you can see what I'm looking at, it causes me to be more accurate with the data that I'm entering in my CRM. Now it's time for the how. This meeting evolves over 2 phases. The first phase may take 1 meeting, depending on the engagement level and the skill of your sales team. And initially, the team may need more coaching on your expectations for moving deals through the pipeline, or maybe even on skill building, on how to operate and update through your reporting system. You can judge your team's readiness to move on by checking their pipeline prior to the next meeting to see if the necessary updates have been made since the last meeting. As a sales manager, you want to spend some time preparing prior to this meeting by looking at a few KPIs or key performance indicators. Use whatever CRM or sales reporting management tool that you have. Take a look at opportunity records that have not been updated in the last 30 days. Also look for opportunities with a close date that is pushed more than 1 time. Take a look for opportunities with a close date in the past. Also look for opportunities with no revenue or no steps, or maybe missing contact information. Make a few notes on the red flags that you want to be sure that you ask about. And then each sales maker is going to discuss their opportunities so that there's no need to make notes on all of the items. Pay particular attention to the items that you've discussed before that have not been updated. And then also make sure to ask all the sales makers if all of their opportunities are on the report. Now let's talk about what it looks like and sounds like. You should have your meeting planner prepared and ready to take down any action items and notes from the meeting. You're also going to want to use the batting lineup for this meeting. You can see the Foundations video for more instructions about how to use both the batting lineup tool and the meeting planning tool. So here's our agenda for the funnel update meeting. It has only 3 main components. First, the manager intro. Secondly, the sales maker update. And then thirdly, the manager close. The first component is a quick manager intro. This sets the stage with a simple purpose statement and a summary of your key findings from the pre-meeting work that you did. It also allows you to set your expectations for the team. For example, I might say something like, I see 15 expired opportunities in the pipeline today, so our goal is to have all the opportunities in the pipeline with an accurate close date. Or maybe, I see about a dozen opportunities that show no activity in the last 30 days. And I know you've all been out making calls, so where are the notes? Maybe I would say something like, we have a goal for 10 customer visits. I should see results reflected from your appointments. We're going to take the next hour and individually go through your respective funnels so that going forward, we're all aligned on the same set of optics to help us better achieve our outcomes. The second component is focused on sales makers updating their pipeline information. The sales makers should have the agenda beforehand and know what you're looking for prior to the meeting. You're going to call on each sales maker and ask them for a 1-minute overview of their pipeline. Now, this is not a deep dive into the details, but a call out of the 4 KPIs on the agenda. Now, your sales makers maybe would sound something like this. Okay, Ted, I have 2 opportunities that have expired. I need to push 1 to the next month because the decision maker's on vacation. I also need to update 1 to closed lost. Unfortunately, we lost the deal because of credit. And then everything else in my pipeline is up to date. So as a sales manager now, I respond with any specific questions that I have to the push or maybe to the lost. And then I tell the sales maker they can drop off the call or out of the meeting as soon as they make their updates. Now, secondly, I want to call on the next sales maker and repeat the same process. As a sales manager, you're going to want to point out any gaps that you see or any inconsistencies to their owners. And then team members will immediately update the agreed upon changes to the opportunity. This shouldn't take long. It's merely an update of their opportunities and the current status and also the track of the opportunity. As soon as each sales maker has completed their updated opportunities, they can be excused from the meeting. Sustainable change almost always involves a change in social networks. So when our team begins to work together, the behavior is reinforced for the individuals. The final component is the manager close. And the reality is there's no true close to this meeting because as each sales maker completes their updates, they're free to drop off the call or leave the meeting. Now, if you have access to update the live data during the meeting, then do a quick check to make sure everything's up to date before excusing the sales maker from the call. Try to call on sales makers first who you know have all their opportunities up to date. This allows them to drop off the call first, and it also models the behavior that you're expecting. This creates a high accountability that ultimately comes to this meeting prepared, and those who don't are going to be required to stay throughout the entire meeting until their funnel is accurately updated. Of the sales makers remaining on the call, select a volunteer to share how the effort helped them improve focus for the upcoming selling period. The sales funnel update meeting gives us insight into which opportunities are solid and which ones might just need to be a little bit cleaned up so that we can get rid of all the fluff and end up with a healthy and accurate funnel from which we can build a solid sales pipeline that converts to actual sales. Phase 2 is the maintenance phase, and it's important for us to continue to have the funnel update meeting so that sales makers don't revert right back to those old habits. This meeting should become shorter because now our sales makers are coming to the meeting prepared, their pipeline is clean and sparkling and ready for great action. Now, it's often important that this meeting be done on the first Monday of every month. Each company's sales cycle and sales length is going to determine the timing of when this meeting should occur. But before making any changes to the format or the cadence, you should be confident that your pipeline is clean and sufficient. The key components of this meeting are the same. The first component is that manager intro. Once again, we're going to set the stage as the manager with a simple purpose statement. The pipeline's looking good, so we've got a few opportunities that need to be updated, and I'm particularly interested in seeing the outcome of your customer visits last week and also the ones that you're going to see this week, assuming that you have a CRM that tracks this kind of information. So I'm here to help. If you have any questions, please let me know, and also let me know what's going on with your updates. The second component focuses on the sales makers updating their pipeline information in real time. So it might sound like this. All right, team, this is where we're going to take the next 50 minutes, and I'd like for each of you to go in and do any updates that are necessary. Let me know when you're done, and I'll take a quick look, and then you're free to drop off. The final phase is really the manager close, and typically this is not going to last more than about 5 minutes. So if you still have sales makers on the line making updates, go ahead and close the meeting by setting expectations on how and when you should follow up, and also inspect their current state of the pipeline. The sales funnel update meeting gives us insight into which opportunities are solid and which might just be fluffy. And then it gives us the opportunity to clean out all the fluff and end up with a healthy and accurate funnel from which we can build a solid sales pipeline that will convert to actual sales.